Sentinels vs Evil Geniuses turned out to be a rough game for the men in red. They played so bad, in fact, that after the series, Def was later subbed out for 10s. So let's jump right into this map. Both teams are going to be running the exact same comp with a Killjoy, Jet, Harbor, Sky, and Viper. To start out, pistol round, Georgimo's going to Harbor Wall down B to draw over some attention. But instantly, EG are all going to rotate towards mid, and Def is going to make a call to rotate practically everyone over to B. He's going to throw this high tide. Now EG is just going to walk down here for free. Out comes the Harbor Wall, so the rotates are going to come through, but EG pretty much just get a free site. So EG are actually going to push into dugout and try fight, but it's just not going to quite work with the dog coming around. So the tap's going to come out, and that causes Boostio to jump out like a madman. And out comes another tap. The Cloud Burst is going to allow Zekin to half it. Sentinels are going to pair Harbor and Sky to throw some really cool utility to take A main control. So we're going to see the wall come out and then the flash in front of the wall to spot anyone. To counter, Georgimo is going to throw a cascade back into A main. Now that EG have A main control, Georgimo is going to roll around A site. Out comes the dog, cascade. For round 3, EG are going to default, and to try and contest some space, Harbor's going to wall the A main choke, and Com is going to put his orb here to stop any line of sight. After the wall of flash is going to be thrown around to clear A main, and EG are just going to slowly take space around this map. Now 2 Jets going to face off. Oh, and Zekin wins the fight. EG have now walked into positions for an A split. Instead of doing the usual wall around like this, Harbor's instead going to go from the other side and wall across like this, so he doesn't wall off his teammate. Ethan gets an entry. We don't get to see the kill, unfortunately. Since Georgimo does have a Spectre, he's going to try to take some close fights and angles, maybe even get a run and gun kill. He manages to there. Now we're put in a really weird situation where 3 players are in link and the rest of the 3 are holding the bomb. Ethan doesn't have any flash, so EG just got to go for the swing, which they do, and it just doesn't quite work out for them. To start round 4, EG are going to throw their usual A main take with the cascade and then the flash around. And we're also going to see this Viper orb again. Georgimo is going to grab the orb here so he can use his ultimate this round. And while Killjoy is using her utility to hold any mid push, EG are going to walk towards B. And unfortunately for Sentinels, they're actually going to play 3 players towards A. And here comes the hit. Harbor ult's going to come out. Skydog's going to try clear some space. Now 2 Viper and Harbor Walls are going to be up to make a freaking exclamation. Harbor's going to plant in his cove right in the open. Yeah, now this is just going to be a spam fiesta. You don't actually end up seeing any kills, but I'm pretty sure most of them are just through smoke. Round 5, Sentinels are forced to do a half buy, and they're going to try to stick together to take some A main control. Unfortunately for them, EG are just going to go straight up B to Zekin's Marshall. So let's see if he can hit his shots. It's not going to be able to see anything though. He needs to try to get a pick in front of the Viper wall, but not really going to work out that well. Out comes the same execute, X walls, Cove goes down, Spike gets planted for long. Even though Sentinels are up a player, they still have to face 5 mollies, 2 from Killjoy and 2 from Viper. And at the same time, Harbor's going to be throwing up these walls. It's just going to be a spam fiesta. Here comes the 4th molly. Harbor walls, can't see anything, can't defuse. Walls goes down, so it's killing time. Wow. Same A main take for round 6. Now we're going to see Ethan collect the orb to get his ulti. Generally, you want, who's ever about to get their ulti to get the ulti for the round. And since Boostio has his ult, EG are just looking straight to ult A and take A. And Demon's going to make an interesting updraft play here, where he's going to updraft all the way from, a restaurant. Try to see something on the side, doesn't see anything. But out comes the Killjoy attacker lockdown. But Marv does have his ult. But I'm not really sure why Marv stays in the pit when the lockdown comes out, because he's actually going to just get detained in his pit. Maybe like ult and then run away. Now you have to remember, Sentinels also have a few ults for their retake. They have the Harbor one, Killjoy, and they're using the Viper one currently. So this is going to be an interesting round. Here comes the Harbor ult. Out comes the dog, tied. Bomb's not even down. And EG are just going to run straight off site. Like, they're not fighting a Harbor and a Viper ult. And because of that, Sentinels instantly split up their forces, even though they had spotted everyone, because they know EG can just run through onto B. But EG are just going to go straight for the re-hit. Def gets 1, manages to get 2. Doesn't quite get the 3rd, but I don't think it matters that much. Sentinels are going to use the same A main take they used a few rounds ago with the wall and the flash over. And they're not actually going to take any control. They're just going to fake it and then walk straight into art. But EG seem to read that they don't actually take A when they do that utility. So they group up A and they're going to take it themselves. Which was the same that Sentinels did in the 2nd round. They didn't take the space. They just left it. But just to be sure, EG are going to dog. Georgimo's going to abuse this orb yet again to get his ultimate. So now, because they have no players on A, Sentinels Sentinels are going to try take space towards mid, and Zekin's going to slowly walk up and try get a pick. But to clear some space first, Saucy's going to dog for him. Turret's going to spot Zekin, and instantly we're going to see the Harbor Reckoning. So it's really smart because they ended up getting 3 players with this ult. Zekin goes down. I'm not sure what happens over here, but Marv seems to push his one-way smoke, and he gets killed. And now EG are going to have a free sight. So EG for round 8 are going to do the exact same thing. They've defaulted for every other round. Wall, flash, Viper Orb. Georgimo is going to get the trade, and Saucy is going to expect this lurk, so he's going to flash for info, and Boostio is going to get caught. Now he knows there is one here, and he's going to hold for it. Gets the kill, 5 HP, goes down to the Viper Molly. Now same utility as always is going to come down to take B. X, Wall, Harbor Cove, just time we got to ult. It's going to be a 3-on-3 retake. But Punkada does have this lockdown, so he's actually going to be forcing the EG players out of the pit, which could work in Sentinel's favor, but we'll find out. Okay, Georgimo. Now this round is going to be really interesting as both Sentinels and EG are going to use their utility to take A control. So we're going to see the same combos as we've seen before. Flash is going to catch the Sentinels players, and EG are just going to fall straight off. So EG are going to dog into Link and try to get some space. Dog is going to come back and spot Marv. Doesn't quite hit him though. Boostio is going to try to get the pick, but I don't know, went a bit deep. Punkada, as the solo player on B, can't really die here. If he dies, the round's over. Unfortunately, he is going to peek, and Ethan is just gonna, and from that, EG are instantly just gonna run B. They're gonna drop the ult, the walls, the whole execute. And being in this situation is just so hard for the defenders. Viper's sitting here, 2 mollies, just walls galore, and there's not a lot Sentinels can do other than go through the wall or get spammed. Okay, so this round, EG are going to try get this orb on B long. Since Ethan is one off his ult, that's what they tend to do, always try and get that ult if they don't have it. So we're gonna see the classic Harbor Wall to block the Jet Orb and the Viper Orb. There's not really much Jekin can do. Orb's covering the orb, and EG are out with Sky ult. EG are gonna then rotate towards A main, leaving Ethan to lurk. He's gonna dog onto B. He's also gonna use both his flashes to just try sell a B hit. Viper Wall's gonna go up too, so Zekin doesn't really know how many people are along. EG are faking B. Now they're gonna wall out A with Harbor, and then run back to B. The double fake. Sentinels don't really know where they are. They have 2 players on each site, and here comes EG. Saucy's gonna try to get one. Doesn't quite. Zekin's gonna go for the spam kill. He actually gets it. For once, the bomb isn't planted for long, but EG are just hitting their shots, bro. First time this map, we're gonna see the mid control Harbor Wall, which we saw a lot when Sentinels played loud. And EG gonna go for another default. Now Saucy is shoulder peeking here, but he does end up getting picked by Demon. And since EG got the pick onto B, they're gonna group up and end up hitting B, leaving the Viper to lurk. Now Zekin's gonna have to do everything with this stinger. Now EG have to plant, so the Harbor Cove's gonna come out. Def is gonna try push in, prevent the plant, but doesn't do it. And this Viper lurk is gonna hurt. Yeah. Now this round, Sentinels are gonna walk A main very quietly. They're not gonna throw any util. The Sky Flash will come out like it usually does and catch them, but they don't really care. They're just gonna walk back. And Demon One's gonna go for the peak. With the dog, manages to get Zekin, gets traded. Boostio's gonna take this one-on-one fight, gets rolled. Now EG is kind of in trouble. 3 players left. They're gonna be running into a Killjoy setup on B. Probably will get the bomb down just with the Harbor ult and Cove. Bam comes out, bomb goes down. EG actually have a shot at this. And because Viper's in halls already, instead of playing for long with the bomb, EG are going to make an interesting decision and decide to push up. Probably because they think they're not going to be able to delay time long enough. So they're just going to make a risky play and try catch Sentinels off guard. And they walk up into A link. Georgimo ends up getting Marv. Ethan gets Dev. And now, like, what is going on? Just roll Sentinels. Swapping sides now. Sentinels are going to group up and go B. All of the players there. Def borders Cove, so we're going to assume they're going to try plant for long. Out comes the Harbor Wall, X formation, Dog, Cove. Plant's going to go down. Okay, now EG are going to hit back with their retake utility. Ethan's going to dog their team up. Meanwhile, Georgimo is going to wall across like this to cut off sight and long. So now these 2 halls players aren't going to really be able to get traded by the long players. Here come EG. Dog comes out. It's actually going to hit both Sentinels players. They're going to be stunned as they get pinched. And now all really Sentinels have is like a molly. Punkada gets 2. And 1 more. Sentinel's going to come towards B. Demon One's the only one here though. And Sentinels managed to get a good trade as now they can pick up a Vandal. So normally when you want to be hitting B side, Harbor orbs here and plants in his orb, but because Def died, they're gonna have no one specializing in planting. So they're gonna go for a weird variation of a B hit. They're actually gonna dog into B link and try to take control there. But Bustio just reads it and spams him through the smoke. Now Sentinels are just stuck waiting. Bomb's not down. And they're just hitting their shots. For round 16, EG are gonna go for a main control, whereas Sentinels are gonna go for art control. Harbor's walled up here, and when the dog comes out, it's gonna spot Pancada's turret, and EG don't want to get spotted by the turret. So 3 of the players are gonna walk into art, but so are Sentinels. Out comes the wall, and flash comes through. They're not gonna spot anyone. Sentinels are gonna give back art. They're gonna go towards mid and work B. But EG are confident. They do not care. They're 3 men pushing art into Zekin. Ethan hits the first shot. And now they got the kill, so they don't have to keep fighting. So EG instantly fall back. This is a bit risky. Def's gonna go for this dry peek and he's gonna get the kill. And EG completely give A site and B site, waiting for the retake. So here comes the retake. Gonna be a 4-on-4. Georgimo's dead, unfortunately, so there's got no smokes. Demon kind of just rolls saucy. But just look at those kills, bro. We're gonna see a really cool play here where Zekin has his ult and he updrafts like over the Harbor wall. Bots D1 spams him out with a knife. Instant Harbor ult to contest. And look how many walls there are. Oh my lord. So Sentinels has always been losing the 4-on-4 retakes. So Zekin takes the responsibilities into his own hands and just goes straight for the kill. Gets rid of the flash player, and EG are just gonna opt to save. So right here, Ethan is gonna try to take A main. He's gonna flash over to clear if anyone's there. This guy says blinded though, so he instantly walks back, and Viper's gonna drop the orb to hold the choke. Now Sentinels are gonna try to come out A with all 5 players. Com has his orb down and he's just waiting till Sentinels execute or Ethan spots anyone to open up his orb and drop the molly, preventing any push. However, Sentinels are just gonna contact out, which means they're not gonna throw anything, they're just gonna walk in. Ethan's gonna spot one, out comes the flash, molly and orb, and I don't know, Com just gets 2 through a smoke. Probably helps that they were maybe invulnerable, but now this is gonna be very hard to win for Sentinels. It's all up to Dev. Yeah, no. And EG just destroy Sentinels. I don't really know what happened with Sentinels here. I think they just had an off day because they looked really good when they were playing Pearl against Loud. They almost beat them. And then last time, EG versus Loud, they got 16-0 on Pearl. EG were running a very different off-meta comp then. And since they did get 13-0, they copied EG's setup, which is the meta setup. And on this meta setup, EG looked really good. They just played really confident and unafraid to make plays off Ethan's flashes, whereas Sentinels just looked a little bit timid on Pearl. So because Sentinels lost this game, they're probably not going to go off to playoffs. Now they're 2-5. Unless like 100 Thieves and EG lose the rest of their games and Sentinels win every game. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you want to see more, and goodbye.